Traders, what's going on? And welcome back to a brand new video. For those who are new to this channel, my name is Arnaldo and I am a multimillionaire trader in the build up. So, we're back again with the second episode of the podcast series. And we're back again with my business partner, Leonel. Welcome back. So, this is going to be a very quick episode. There's a lot of topics to cover, but we're planning to do the third episode so we can cover everything. But let's get started with no further ado. So, the first thing that I want to ask, let's give a quick update on the last series. From the first episode until now, what has happened in your trading journey? What are the challenges that you've been facing, and how has it been? How has it been?
Great. It's been great as always. In terms of prop firms, first, I managed to get one 5K account funded, and I'm doing a 50K challenge on FTMO. Yeah, basically that's the update in the prop firm side. And challenges, they're always there, as you know. Yeah, it's paid.
Okay. And from my side, basically, there has been a lot of challenges to miss. A couple challenges missed. I am currently doing the journey 1 million to funding. So that's where I'm going to document my journey. This is what I'm putting on step-by-step process on how I'm going to acquire the 1 million in funding. So currently, I do have 25K of worth of challenges in funding pips. All of them are in phase 1, and I've been documenting this thing. I'm in drawdown. So if you guys want to watch it, you can just go and watch from this very same channel. But let's move on to the next topic. When it comes to balancing life and trading, how is your perspective on that?
So when it comes to balancing life with trading, it's tough, but it's manageable. As long as you can because trading is stressful, first of all. So you have to mix trading with, you have to do stuff you also enjoy doing outside of trading so you can keep your mind fresh. Because if you're constantly looking at the charts, numbers, ups and downs of winnings and losses, it's gonna affect you mentally. So
and that's one thing that I think we even covered in the last podcast. You have to have a life outside of trading, because trading itself can be way too much mentally consuming. So you need to have hobbies outside of trading. And yeah, let's move on to the next topic, which is, how did you find the right trading style for you?
Basically, it's difficult. This one is difficult, but I think the only way to find the right trading style for you is when you understand that there's no perfect single one strategy way of trading. So all I need to do is see the numbers that my system provides, and if it's profitable, that's what I'm going to stick with. Because if you keep chasing strategies that produce more and more and more, you'll never stop. You'll never land on one strategy that works the best. You keep jumping and jumping and jumping. So my hack is simply getting the data of my system. If it's profitable, I keep it. If it's not, I change and I look for a profitable one.
Yeah, I totally agree with this point of view, because one thing that a lot of traders don't understand is that, first off, you need to understand yourself. You need to understand what kind of personality do you have, what type of person you are. So throughout that process, you're going to understand that if you're a patient guy, you need to develop a system that is going to work best for your type of personality, so, and the data is the thing that is going to be the confirmation bias. Everything that you do, it has to be backed up by data. One thing that I've been seeing a lot on beginner traders or traders in my circle that have been questioning me a lot is that they be taking decisions without having the data to back them up. They just watch someone on social media saying these because I don't trade on Mondays because of this and that. They just take that and apply into their trading system. And for me, that's like a big mistake to do. You need to back up every single thing that you do, every single tweak that you apply in your system has to be backed up by data. So for me, to find the right trading style for you, you have to test out a lot of trading styles at first. You need to gather the data, gather the experience, commit the mistakes, and only after that you're going to analyze. Okay, when you have a large sample size of your performance of the data, you can manage to do some tweaks according to the data in itself. So I want to talk about this thing that I've been seeing on social media, the educational side. I've been seeing a lot of, every single day there's a lot of new things. So there's always a guy that's coming up promising high returns, promising the holy grail. They came up with the holy grail. I want to know your opinion on that, on the educational side of trading.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I think it goes back to the thing that we're saying. If you don't have data, you listen to anyone, whatever anyone says. If somebody comes and promises I don't know, my system produces a 90% win rate and you're gonna make money all the time. If you don't have the data to back that up, you believe anyone. So yeah, it's difficult, especially when you're a beginner, because you have no guide. Like you there's nothing you can do. I mean, there is obviously something you can do, and most of the education that these guys provide that you're talking about, you can find it for free in the internet, on YouTube, like we did, obviously. But yeah, it's difficult, but it's manageable. But data is one of the most powerful ways to get over that stuff.
Yeah, I agree with that. I want to say that one thing that is really important. I want to the traders, beginner traders, the traders that are just coming up into this space, they have to understand that this is a business and you have to treat it like one. And one thing that is fundamental to this business is the data. You have to analyze the data. And I would say that my younger version, I will get into the educational side. I would love to share my share my ideas on trading with the beginner ones, help out few people. But growing up, seeing how the industry works, I kind of detach myself from that space. I don't want to be associated with those kind of guys. Of course that I can educate people on how I see on how I see the market itself, on the way I trade, but I wouldn't do that with paid mentorships, which I think that if you're not providing any value to the people, that's a total scam. If the money that you promise, if the money that you're making, it only comes from mentorship and not trading itself, I think that's a scam. And we can be out here mentioning names the whole day, but that's not the point of it. My point is not to bring negativity to the space. I want to bring awareness to the new traders. I want to be the realest of the realists. I want to show the right examples. I want to set the right standards to the game, because I've been saying that this space has the name. The name of this space is not really something that you can be proud of. You don't go out there and say like I'm a forex trader, because you think that you're going to be associated with all of these scammers because they seen the trading space in the wrong way. But let's move on to another topic, which is the psychology of trading. Um, one important thing in trading is the emotional side. It's very important topic that um, eventually in some part of the journey you will have to deal with that thing. Because I believe that our trading journey can be divided by two main stages, which is the learning phase when you're learning a bunch of different strategies, and then comes the psychology phase, which which is the phase that you gonna have to develop the right psychology to stay in the game for long term. And the third phase is the experience. This is when you're going to start tweaking your system to fit right with your when you build your edge. You're going to have the right approach and also the long-term version of it. So I want to know, how do you deal with the challenges of trading? The emotional challenges.
Again, another difficult one, but as always, one we touched on this. One way is keeping it realistic, because if you have an unrealistic expectation on trading, it can mess you up mentally as well, because you keep chasing something that you'll never achieve, or it's gonna be difficult. And I don't know, you set a huge goal for next year. I want to make this amount of money or that amount of money. Next year comes, you don't make it, you give up, and then you go call yourself a forex trader outside, and people think because. So yeah, one way is keeping it realistic, cutting my goals down to small portions, achievable portions, measurable portions. Yeah, that's one side of it. The other side is surrounding myself with friends after I do my trading. I always have to surround myself with friends, cool myself down, relax, talk about life, what we want to achieve in the future, because that also gives you motivation. So yeah, surrounding myself with the right people and creating realistic expectations. Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I totally agree with that too. As for me, I think that I've seen a lot of guys bashing on this whole thing of having the habits, the habits that don't make yourself rich, like such as doing the cold baths, the whole meditation type of stuff. And I see a lot of niggas, a lot of people making fun of that. But if that thing is useful for you, I think you should stick to with it. So outside of trading, I do have my things to do. I like to do my routines, such as doing meditation. This thing helps me a lot, not also in trading, but in my personal life, because it brings me the awareness. It trains me to be mentally aware of the things, of especially my emotions. So this is a skill to use in trading. So and also another thing that I can say is that having a mechanical system helps me manage my emotion, because I do know what to expect, I can say, from the market. I do know what to expect. The thing that I have to do is just to execute my plan, and this is the thing that matters to me.
Exactly. And it's also like the I don't know if you saw what I posted yesterday on WhatsApp. Like, having a mechanical system also helps, because I think it says, don't, what does it say? Exactly. Don't let something that you already know the outcome of mess you mentally. Because if you know it's gonna happen, why bother? Why overreact when it happens? It's just like trading. You know you're gonna lose. You know you have a system, and your system has a series of winners and losses. So it's gonna happen eventually. Don't stress about it. Just relax and keep on trading, because that's the only way you're gonna get to the
exactly
final result.
And losses are part of the game. It's something that you have to understand, that if you are on a series of wins, eventually you don't have to. You don't need to be excited, because eventually the losses are coming. The more wins you take, the next loss is coming. Is really near. So you have to
And the other way around.
exactly.
You keep losing, just expect winners to come.
That's it. So and that's one thing that I've been seeing a lot of guys on IG, the Instagram traders, and they have one position open and they're already flexing like they already closed the position. I don't understand, why are you flexing? Because if the trade is not closed, there's nothing to be worried about. The only thing that you have to focus on is just to put it's just to focus on the input, which is analyzing the chart. If there's a setup there, answer. If there's not a setup, also don't enter, because that's also an action to do. Let's move on to the how to manage risk, the topic. So how do you manage risk when it comes to your drawdown tool, and do you how do you treat your drawdown phase? Do you minimize your risk? Do you what is your approach on that one?
It's not a general rule. It's something I personally like to use because obviously it keeps my emotional side relaxed. So yes, I reduce my risk, the risk I take per trade when I'm in drawdown. When I go above break even, I also start increasing in portions, 0.5, and then when I'm over, I don't know, 5 or 6%, I go up. But yeah, generally, that's it. I'm below drawdown, I cut it, because let's say I take 5 losses, it's not gonna hurt me a lot. I take, I don't know, 10 losses, and all I see is minus 2%. So that it helps me emotionally to deal with those circumstances. So yeah, it's something like I advise people to do also. But yeah, it's optional. It's not a must if you want to be successful in trading.
So when it comes to that risk, are you talking about the prop firm space or in your personal accounts?
I'm talking about prop firms, because on a personal it doesn't bother me a lot, because as you know, prop firms have so many restrictions. You have a limit of 10%. So I don't want to get anywhere near the 10%. So I have to reduce the risk. And yes, it's going to take me longer to pass some challenges, but it doesn't matter. As long as, and there's a trick I use that I've been thinking about. Basically, if you're so worried about how long it takes to pass challenges, just buy bigger accounts, because it's worth a while. It's worth the wait. If you, I don't know, you have, 400K funding, and I don't know, I can say 6 months trading without making any money, but as long as I pass the 400K account, I'm fine with it. So yeah, on the personal side, I don't drop risk because I have the full 100%. So yeah, it's prop firms.
I think that's one of the few things that I would say that I don't fully agree with you on that approach, because I think that with how the prop firm space it's being managed right now, every single day you see one prop firm going down, the other one. So I am more aggressive on that. Of course, I've tried to do this conservative risk. Once you in drawdown, once I approach 2% drawdown, I used to cut my risk by half. So if I was risking 1%, the initial risk, once I get to 2%, I divide it by 2. So every 1%, I'm dividing the risk by 2. So it got to a point that I was deep in drawdown, and this is what's happening now, and my risk basically is on 0.03%, and which is a bit really challenging for myself, because it's gonna take me way longer to get back to break even, because as you know, if you keep the same risk, let's say if you keep 1%, for you to get back from 8% to 1%, you have to make bigger percentage, because it's not going to be one straight line. You're not going to make all the way in one trade. You might have to manage. You might even need to manage. You might even need to make 20%, I can say, just to get back to break even, because you had some losses also that were bouncing around. So especially with the more conservative risk, the more you reduce the risk, the more time you are increasing to get back to that. So
yeah, but I mean, I agree, obviously, but I forgot to say that's the risk you also take,
Of
because
course.
obviously you lower your risk. It takes you longer, and obviously you can get caught up with these platforms closing
Exactly.
all the time. That's the
The risk that
risky
you take,
side.
yeah.
But obviously there's a positive, which is what if they don't close? And basically you never get to fail a challenge hitting the
The
drawdown.
drawdown
Exactly.
rule. Yeah, which is, I think that approach, it's cool when you are using as a balance, two different approaches, the aggressive one and
Exactly.
the
Two, yeah,
conservative one,
exactly.
because at the end of the day, you always gonna have one account that can recover all the loss, so this is what I was thinking about, and I am going to um stop using the conservative one. I mean, not stop, I'm going to use both of them. This is what I've been thinking about, but I will give you guys a quick update on the series ahead. So um I don't want to take so long with these. Let's just get to the final points, and I have 3 questions out here. But to start off, the final question is: what are the 3 practical steps that beginners can take to improve their trading journey?
Stop running, chasing mentors in the beginning. There's a lot of free content on YouTube for free, of course. That's the number one step. Ambition. Just if you want to be a trader, you're not gonna run around looking for people to teach you. So one of my that's one step that beginner traders can take. Go straight to YouTube. Go straight to the free content. You're gonna find a lot. And later on, yes, you can look for mentors that can specialize, like that you can kind of specialize in this strategy that maybe works for you. So yeah, I think that's the second one, which is later on you can chase those things. The third one, I mean, I think I
That's
only have
all.
those two.
Yeah. As for me, I think that the first thing is you gotta always remember what got you into the trading game. You need to have a strong why as you want to succeed at this business. If you keep that in mind at all time, this is the thing that's going to boost you to make you become a successful trader. And the second thing will be always put in the work. You have to take the risk. You need to know that for you to succeed at this business, you need to sacrifice some things. If you are in the game of trading, you need to know that you sign up for something and you have to pay for that thing. So you have to put in the work. And the third thing, you need to set down, lower your expectations, and respect the process. It's not one thing that's going to happen overnight. It's gonna take time. So those are the 3 main important things. And to finish off, what is the biggest lesson that you learned from your trading journey?
I will keep coming back to the same thing, lowering expectations. That's one thing that helped me a lot, because you see, in the beginning, you have these big goals of, I can't wait for the time I have a 400k account. 1% with the 400k account, I can buy this, or I can buy that. See, you have to kind of lower
The
your
expectation.
expectation. That's like, I don't know, the biggest lesson that I've learned so far since the first podcast till now. That's one of the biggest ones.
Yeah.
Because that kind of also reduces, it all connects. It reduces it helps you emotionally as well to deal with the negative sides, with the difficult sides of trading. That's the biggest lesson.
Yeah, that's a big one. And for me, I would say that the biggest lesson so far is that we have to respect the process, because throughout the process, this is where we're going to build our character. So this thing of you thinking that all you need is, you just get into the training business, and then after 3 months you're going to become successful. You might even be lucky and manage to get your first and second payout, but that doesn't mean that you are already successful. The market will always humble you up. So the process that takes you to become a successful trader is a really important process that we can never skip that process. Nobody can skip the process. Nobody is above the markets, you know. Nobody, there's no so this is why I really find it funny when a new guy come here and says that he became profitable in 3 months, you know, and he's also already balling out here. Man, just humble yourself up, because the market is going to show you the right things, you know. So that's why I will never look up to these guys that are flashing around, because that just shows that they never been they are not in the market long enough to understand that market will always humble you up, you know. So to finish off, actually this is the last question. How can someone develop patience and discipline required for successful trading?
Well, I think that's something you individually you have to work on. Like you said, if cold showers help you, do that. If working out helps you, do that. If hanging out with your friends, I don't know, once in a while to calm yourself down, if that works for you, do that. So I think it's something that you individually have to figure out. Like trading in general, it's something that you have to go through.
Experience, you don't buy experience. You have to go through the hard times to figure out what you do to to surpass those difficult times. But yeah, me in my case, working out obviously, like I also said, surrounding myself with great people, traders as well, which also helps if you're a trader. And yeah, that's basically.
I completely agree with that, but I would say that before you reach that phase, you know, of reaching the patience, you know, the data is one thing that will make you understand how the patience game works. Because if you have a big sample size of the data, you can already have an expectation on what to on how the market, on how your system can perform. You know, it's not that it's going to be 100% what you see, but you can already draw some expectations. Okay, from this time to this time, you know, I can expect this kind of results from the market. So you need to understand that also you don't control the markets. You never know what's going to come, you know. So naturally, you're going to learn how to respect the process. And also the other thing that you touched, you need to experience things out, you know. You need to try different things to see what works and what doesn't work for yourself. But yeah, I think you covered very well on that topic. But I think it's everything for this episode. I don't know if you have one last thing in mind before we finish this off.
Yeah, I think I said everything. I think I said enough.
Okay, so yeah, I also don't have no remaining things. So guys, if you like these kind of videos, please don't forget to comment, like, and leave a subscribe, please. And yeah, I see you guys on the next one. Bro, I appreciate you for participating. And yeah, I see you guys on the next one. Peace.